Welcome back to part 3, the penultimate episode of A Lot Could Happen in 10 Years at AFC Crewe Simulation. So we're picking up where last time we saw some good stuff happening at AFC Crewe under the management of Billy. We have had a promotion, then consolidated, and now we're hoping to see Billy pushes on again up through the ranks. And see what can happen. Hopefully, we've had some good cup wins as well, so you never know, we might pick up another cup win. And we'll also take a look at them 3 players who started off as were detrimental in our first season and see how they're getting on at their respective clubs. So, yeah, another short one in this little mini series just to see where we're going, and then afterwards, we'll be going a further 4 seasons ahead this time to finish off the 10 years before starting our Part 2 Prem series. Okay then, so let's see what has happened in the last 2 seasons. Right, so we're 2 years further on, 2 more seasons in the bag. This is the penultimate episode of this little series. We're going to fast forward off this one 4 more years. 3 more years, whatever it is, to our 10th season and see the final standings before we start the much anticipated Part 2 Prem series. So first off, we've gained at least nearly 20 season ticket holders. Pretty amazing, and because of that we've managed to drop the average season ticket price down by £2, and that's now £53. So who can beat that? Obviously, the first sad thing to announce, and I think we can all see it, is there has been a manager change. Billy Murphy, who still is the favoured personnel of the club, he's currently unemployed after leaving us, has now caused some upsets for a lot of the fans. But yes, he has left us, and that's a shame. We now have Aidan Clark, which just is a regen. It's not even a real person, which is unfortunate. But yeah, Aidan Clark is now our manager. If we look at our manager history, we can see that Billy left basically this month, start this month, which was said as he resigned. So he wasn't fired. We didn't fire him. Well, we would never fire him, but he did resign for reasons unknown. Which has mean Aidan Clark has picked up the team for 23 days and obviously hasn't really had any impact. So let's see if we work out why maybe Billy resigned and what's been happening with the club. So if we look at our general overview, so we left it here. So this was the season after Billy got us promoted up into the Northern Premier League Division 1. And consolidated with a 7th place finish. As he's shown in the previous first part, he did manage to go and take 1st place in the Northern Premier League Division 1, which is fantastic. But then unfortunately, after that promotion, we did finish 20th in the Northern Premier League and was relegated last season. Ultimately, maybe he thought he took as far as he could take us, and that's why he resigned. Maybe, we will never know. But yeah, so let's go look at, first of all, how we did in that season where we became champions. So if we look at 26-27, AFC Crewe in the Northern Premier League Division 1 West, 1st place, champions, 85 points, with Nantwich a mere point behind, getting the playoff points, or promoted maybe in this level, yeah, promoted. And Warrington and Stalybridge only a point behind them, so really tight season there, which we did reign champions over. So that was fantastic news, and that's it. That put us into put us into. See if I can find it. Not this one we're in now, but that did get us promoted into the Northern Premier League Premier. So let's have a look at that table and see how we did. definitely spell league right. There it is, Grantham. So if we take a look at last season on there, we can see that finished 20th. Only 3 points from safety. I mean, same goal difference. So yeah, we weren't. Billy wasn't far out in getting so, but this is the first time we've seen AFC Crewe struggle. We've either been champions or promoted, or at worst finishing around 6th or 7th position. So this time, the first time we really struggled. With only 8 wins, 13 draws, and 21 losses, with minus 18 goal scoring difference. Obviously, one of the lower ones down there. So hopefully that means the games were tight and potentially we're just unlucky in a few different places. But yes, unfortunately, we were relegated, and that then leaves us for this season, hopefully for the new manager to bring us back up. Let's see how it goes. But now we can officially say all the players and the manager have now left from the original set, which is a shame. But we are coming towards the end of this series, so that's quite good. And I certainly know for our part Prem that we want to keep a lot of these people in their positions. Not Billy, clearly, because I'll be manager. But yeah. So on that note, let's do our usual let's see where our players, the 3 players that we identified in the first part as taking that step up and were detrimental to our first season, and that was obviously Chris Holt, Dino Messam and Lee Robinson. So start off with Lee. Obviously, big news in the last part is he actually made it to the Football League. So Lee was at Tranmere last time we saw him, and he still is at Tranmere on £350 a week. The emergency backup keeper, and still hasn't played, but he's been there for a long time now. He's been there for going into his 5th season at Tranmere. So obviously happy not to be playing a vital role on the pitch, but hopefully he's playing a vital role in the background there. But still in League 2 and has been now for 6 seasons. So that's pretty... 5 seasons, sorry, but still pretty impressive for the 32-year-old. So maybe a couple more years left at Tranmere, taking his £350 a week. And then he'll maybe go to coaching. Never know, we could see him in our next 4-year simulation coming back as goalkeeper coach at AFC Crewe. You never know. Although obviously, according to him, Basford United would be his main team, as he played more games for them than he did for us. So that's Lee. Next up, we look at Chris Holt, and we can see that he's now at Wembley. So last time we checked in on him, he was at Ashford. They loaned him out for the following season to Sheffield United, where he then made 3 transfers to Wembley. We've seen his ratings go up, so hopefully improvement in his game there, and will be now playing for Wembley for the upcoming season. And Christian's on his £40 a week contract at the moment. Shows the difference, doesn't it, between like Tranmere and Wembley. That's what Lee would say anyway. So that was Christian, and then obviously last but not least, the guy who scored a lot of goals for us in our first season was Dino Messam. And look at that, he is also at Wembley. So obviously Chris and Dino becoming best friends and living up at Wembley. He was there last season for 6 games at least. He played for him with Chris. But yeah, so that's quite interesting how 2 of our mainstream players for the first season have both now ended up at Wembley. So very interesting indeed. Back to Crewe. We did have a quick look, but I don't think we saw anything. I don't think there was any cup wins or anything to look at this time. No, can't see any. No, just the championship winning season before the not so great season being relegated. So not too much happening there. In terms of the scouting team, just one change from what I can see. I've kind of forgotten who the name was. Quickly check in. Yes, Chris Tingay, so one of our scouts. So all our other scouts are still at their teams that they moved to after the first season, apart from Chris. So Chris unfortunately was let go by Mask United a year ago, to pretty much the date, and has remained unemployed since that time. So obviously AFC Crewe have not gone back in for him. So Chris and Billy are our first staff to be unemployed whilst the simulation is running. So congratulations for that, I guess. So interesting stuff there. It's a shame to see us hit a relegation. We were hoping just to keep climbing, but it is part of football that you can't do. So we've been very much on the promotion, consolidate, promotion, consolidate, promotion. Fortunately, there's no consolidation. We came straight back down. New manager in terms of Aidan Clark. Can he push us into... ideally a promotion would be nice, but if not, then we'll take another consolidation at least. In terms of media predictions, can I see that? Season preview. I'm looking at the wrong thing. No, I think. Okay, that's just telling me the info. I thought for a second there, I was saying, well, we're going to get relegated, but then we're third favourites to win the league. Made no sense, but no, it's because we were relegated teams. Obviously, we have been relegated, so like to think we kept most of our key personnel, and given the new manager the ability to get promoted, being odds on second favourites, same as Carlisle City. So hopefully we're going to see some improvement and see us go up. We are going to obviously normally be doing 2-year sims. This is going to be the final push to 10 years, 10 seasons in, to see where we end up, and hopefully finish on high, and we'll move to the Park to Prem. So I will catch you on the next one. Wow, so that was a bit of a surprise. I wasn't expecting Billy to be fired or resign anytime just yet, but that is the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. So yeah, Billy has resigned after our first bad season, really. We did get relegated, not far off, only 3 points off from staying up, and as Billy has shown, he's been very good at getting promoted, consolidating, promoted, consolidated. So who knows what will happen had we found them 3 points, but it is what it is. So yeah, we'll find out obviously how the new manager does next. But yeah, it's a shame that now all the players and managers and staff have moved on to different things. But hey. Another interesting fact, obviously, with Chris Holt and Dino Messam both ended up at Wembley now. So hopefully that's because of the connections that they made whilst at AFC Crewe. But yeah, that was an interesting bit to see. Lee Robertson, still our only player to make it to the Football League. He's happy as emergency backup, it seems. His was it £350 a week, so he's happy. And obviously, it doesn't look like anyone else is going to make it to the Football League. So he will be the highest achieving player for us. So that's interesting to see. So yeah, so what we're going to do next, we're actually going to go 4 seasons ahead now, not 2. Reason being, as I want to get to this Park to Prem series, and yeah, so we'll see a bit more time, see what the new manager can do. Let's see where we end up for the final part, and then we'll crack on with the new series. So yeah, and hope you enjoy this one, and we'll see you again.